Well, good morning. Welcome to Solo Walk for April 16th. Just a quick one. Just a quick little video here just to put out this morning. I'd seen a clip on YouTube this morning that really exemplifies how disconnected, evil our systems have become. Like I've said before, you know that this isn't a political channel, and as far as I'm concerned, the political system is so corrupt, and but that's for you to decide. We all have eyes to see and ears to hear, and it's up to you to make up your own mind on that. But anyway, the little clip I seen this morning was from a statement from Chris Barber about him and Tamara Leach, and the decision that's come down from the courts in Canada here. And for those of you that don't know who Chris Barber and Tamara Leach are, I'm sure you remember the trucker convoy from a couple, 3 years ago, whenever it was, 2022, I guess it was, on the mandates that was coming down. And it really doesn't matter what your feelings are towards that protest. To me, protests are a useless thing, and that you're just begging the powers that want to be for permission to be yourself, and have them give you permission. But that's beside the point. That's neither here nor there on this little clip. And that this decision that come down, and that was where the courts, well, the court case has been settled, I guess, and both of them were charged with mischief, and found guilty of mischief, and all this mischief was they organized a peaceful protest, and but again, besides the point. The court case has been settled, and both of them have spent time in jail, and both of them have been on probations and all this other crap that goes along with it for 2-3 years now, in and out and up and down and in court. And our government spent millions of dollars prosecuting these two people for mischief. Anyway, Chris had posted that they'd had some sad news come across, that they want to put the two of them in prison for 2 years and confiscate his truck. And his truck, he's a trucker, and his truck is his living. And this truck has he's had for many years. I think it's a 2003, I think it is, and he's been driving it since new. It's got over 3 million kilometers on it, and so on and so forth. And but again, it's his livelihood. But they want to confiscate it and either crush it or sell it at an auction. And it's just a fine example of how corrupt and how disconnected and distorted our political, our judicial, our societal systems have become, to my way of thinking anyway. And you see other protests, even riots, that promote the agenda, put it that way, and that where people are doing things that are just disgusting, and more disturbing than anything that the trucker protests did. And again, it doesn't matter what you think of them, and that whether it was right, wrong, or otherwise, but just use some common sense and look at the comparisons here. and that. And the protests that are going on now, like I seen one the other day where a reporter was arrested and brutally arrested, and that, but the protesters weren't. You know, the system is so, how do you say anything other than fucked up, and that, and pardon the language, but I have no better word for it. And that these people, you know, we're letting murderers out, we're letting rapists out on probation, and they're coming out and they're doing the crimes over and over again, and even robberies and car thefts and stuff, and they're let back out the next day type thing, and they go do it again, and you know, you hear stories of ones that have been 20 and 30 times let out. Yet you have some people that, because of a protest that was grassroots, I guess, and it wasn't part of the agenda, and it questioned the agenda and questioned authority, and that these people are being punished, and to my way of thinking, punished severely for just mischief, for organizing something. From what I've seen of any of it, neither one of them did anything violent. I didn't see much violence of any sort the whole time of that protest, and all it was about was, you know, mandates, choices. You know, it was allowing people to make their own choice on whether they wanted an experimental gene therapy. And it's been proven since that that's all it was, and it's a scamdemic, and it was a plandemic, and that. And if you don't want to see that, that's up to you too. It's up to you to make your choices how you want to see things and that. But there's more than enough evidence that this was all manufactured. But anyway, it just kind of pissed me off a little bit this morning when I seen that, and not so much, you know, that the court system is doing things, but it's just how evil and perverted and twisted and disconnected the whole system is from humanity, from civilization. And this is all, to me, it's just a perfect example of the war we're in, where it's evil versus good, or however you want to look at it, dark versus light, and that. And yeah, so that's it's just, I just had to rant a little bit this morning, and this again, just such an example of how distorted the system has become. And again, it is all the programming, it is all the system, and it is the agenda to keep people down, to keep them under their thumb, to keep us controlled. And you can see that just in the example of that grassroots protest. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of protests anyway. I don't think we should be going to the powers that want to be begging for anything, and that. But these other protests that you see that are violent, and that they start flipping cars and breaking windows and whatever else, nobody's prosecuted in them, because most of those, I think, are organized by the agenda, by the perpetrators of this systematic takeover of humanity. Anyway, we'll just leave it at that. Just, you know, remember, you know, you are a whole lot more than what they're telling you. and that you have the power. You are the one you've been waiting for. Just do the best you can. Be the best you can be. Reach out, give your loved ones a hug. Tell them they're loved. Look in the mirror. Tell them tell yourself you got this. I have to do it every day. And know that you're loved. We love you. Have a great day. Be blessed. And we'll talk at you again. Bye-bye.